Rachel from Accounts, Rachel Reeves, in her spending review speech, pledged to clear out the asylum seeker hotels by the end of this Parliament, which means 2029, which I think is a rather meagre ambition in itself. You know, 4 years, great. Can't you do it faster than that? But the ambition is right, clear out these hotels. So that begs the question, what are you going to do with the asylum seekers then? Now, I'll tell you this. Rachel Reeves was on the BBC earlier, has got no answer. Yesterday, her deputy at the Treasury, James Murray, was on Drive here talking to Jeremy Kyle. Basically, Jeremy asked him 9 times, what are you going to do with the asylum seekers? Where are you going to put them? Have a look at this.
What is your plan? How are you going to stop the boat? How are you going to... OK, stop. Let me have my point. Answer 2 really simple questions very simply. Where are these asylum seekers going? It's a simple question. And what's your plan to stop them coming here in the first place? That's what people want, James. Where are they going?
Well, some of them will be sent home if their applications are rejected, and we want to bring down that backlog. That's the first duty, and that's what we've been doing since the election last year. And what we're saying is, for those people who are being processed, they're waiting for a decision to be taken. It is unacceptable to be spending so much money on expensive hotel accommodation.
So where are they going to go? Not the some who get deported. What about the not some who are going to still be here or are not going in hotels? It's not a difficult question, James, with respect. Where are these people going?
I said earlier on in our conversation today that there would have to be alternative accommodation for them.
Memo to Keir Starmer, don't put James Murray on the media round again. But seriously, Andrea, they have no answer. Rachel Reeves was exactly the same this morning. Now, there are 2 things to say here. When they keep going, oh, we're deporting people, deporting them left, right and centre. They've deported so far 24,000 people. Only 2,000 of them compulsorily. The 22,000 they've deported were deported voluntarily, and we, the British taxpayer, gave them money to go back to their own country. They were paid to leave. So let's not
That was a Conservative policy. I actually stood up in Parliament and said, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet and give you your money back.
I know. So that doesn't wash. That's ridiculous.
No, exactly.
But that's the only answer they've got. So what are they going to do with these asylum seekers? And this is an issue that's very important in Lincolnshire, because Skegness is packed with asylum seeker hotels, just to name one town. And I'll tell you what they're going to do with them. They're going to put them into social housing. They're going to put them into council houses, and British people who've been waiting in the queue for many years to get their council houses will go to the back of the queue, where when people who broke into this country, illegal foreigners, will go to the top of the queue. That's what's going to happen, isn't it?
Oh, 1,000,000%. And when has any Labour government ever had a policy where they put British people first? They haven't, have they? Yeah. And I mean, look, don't forget it was Blair and Cherry Blair and the human rights when they was in last time, which actually opened the doors, wasn't it? And brought these lefty lawyers their human rights to defend these cases to stop us deporting. They're not taking it seriously. They just keep moving the goalposts. That's why they're saying 4 years from now. And you're right, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, don't you remember in the election we was warning people in the general election when Angela Rayner was hinting that they're going to be put in social housing during the general election? Of course, that's a game plan.
Yeah, they clear them out.
Yeah.
There's about 40,000 migrants right now staying in about 200 hotels around the country.
But look at the crime already in the community.
I know. £4.7 billion a year that costs us. As I say, it's a scandal that they haven't worked out what the answer is to the question that Jeremy Kyle was so aggressively asking there. And good on
we've got
Jeremy.
to stop the pull, haven't we? We've got to stop the pull for them coming over in the first place by us being a soft touch Britain. That was the next question I was going to ask you. The other glaring omission
in her spending review and this bold pledge. You know what she said? Oh, I'm going to we will clear the hotels by 2020, at the end of this parliament.
Great impression, by the way, Kevin.
Yeah, my impression of Rachel Reeves is exactly the same as my impression of Keir Starmer, because they do have a very similar kind of a voice. But she says that they're going to clear it by 29, which I think is a really feeble ambition anyway. 4 years, end of this parliament. What was the great admission in what she said? No plan whatsoever to stop the migrants coming. No plan to stop the boats. Just a sort of acceptance that, yeah, we'll get them out of the hotels by 2029, which, by the way, Andrea, they won't. But,
no, of course they won't.
But no plan at all to stop the migrant crisis, just an acceptance that it's going to go on and on and on. That is not acceptable.
And how many people will it be by 4 years' time?
I know. It's a disgrace that they haven't got a plan, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't believe they genuinely care about it, do you?
No, I don't. It's a lack of commitment. Because here's the deal. If they wanted to stop the migrant crisis, they could if they had the resolve, but they don't have the resolve. And she also announced, of course, and this infuriated me, a last comment from you on this, Andrea. She said that she was going to give 250 million more pounds to the Border Security Command to give it more drones, more surveillance equipment, more cutting-edge technology to trace the evil people smuggling gangs and bring them to justice. So last year they gave them £200 million, the Border Security Command, for the same kind of idea, more equipment and all that. How many people smuggling gangs has the Border Security Command smashed so far? Oh, I know, none whatsoever. They are pouring more money into this failed strategy just to act as if, oh, the only thing wrong with it so far is it hasn't had enough money. They're trying to justify their own failure by taking our money and giving it to a completely useless organisation that hasn't achieved anything. That, again, is a scandal.
Oh, completely. And look, we saw it again with the Conservatives. I mean, look how I stood up so many times in the House when I was a Conservative and said, why are we giving money to France? You know, they're failing at what they're doing. Why do we keep giving them, you know, millions more? And unfortunately, this is Westminster-focused politicians that don't live in the real world. And they clearly live in their areas where they haven't got these illegal migrants affecting their communities, and this is why reform's doing so on. I mean, Nigel's speech a couple of weeks ago, he was spot on. You know, he said, you know, as we mentioned on the show, I'd go more radical than Andrea was saying, putting them in tents. You know, we've got to start turning them back like they did in America, because do that for 2 weeks, they will stop coming.
Absolutely. You know, both the main parties, you know, it's like, we all go, we the people, we go, just stop the boats, stop the migrants.
Did you see William Hague's tweet?
What did he tweet?
Yeah. How Conservatives and Labour have got to work together.
Oh God, no!
I mean, is that a definition of the Uni Party?
And I bet you, if you sat down with William Hague, you'd say, well, what we have to do, the two parties have to work together. Then we have to get round the table with France. Yeah, thanks, William. That's got about as much chance of succeeding as a snowball not melting in hell. It's just ridiculous. Don't sit down with the French. They are bad actors in all this. They just want to get rid of the migrants.
To stop it, have they? They want to get rid of it to Britain.
Just look, excuse my French, if I can say this. You know, just stop the bloody boats and stop the bloody migrants. It's as simple as that. If your solution does not involve that, forget it. You're not going to solve this crisis. And neither of the uni parties seem to want to do that. So that's their funeral, if you ask me. Andrea, got to move on, but really good to talk to you as always, and all the best with your efficiency drive in Lincolnshire. Always a pleasure. Dame Andrea Jenkyns there, the Mayor for Greater Lincolnshire, the Reform UK Mayor, of course.